Dela writes, my MVVs, welcome.
Heavy fear in the palace as Ebony's supporter struck blind as Àṣẹ Olórí Àbẹ depot broke on their return journey. The palace council had already been tense for weeks with debate about Ebony's immunity and her constant reliance on the decree of Àṣẹ Olórí Àbẹ and other decree because she is a daughter of the soil. Her supporters, had been insisting that the ancient decree would protect her from any consequences, even when she had crossed serious lines. But then something happened on their return journey that shook everyone, and it became the final confirmation to the elders that the protection Ebony was clinching on had truly expired. According to report given to the Ooni of Ife's council, one of Ebony's strongest supporters, who had gone with her family to invoke Àṣẹ Olórí Àbẹ, began to experience strange signs on the way back. The sacred pot connected to the decree, which was meant to remain intact and sealed after invocation, broke suddenly on the journey. In Yoruba tradition, that kind of occurrence is not taken lightly. It is seen as a direct sign that the covering they were trying to invoke was not following, due process. Like, that she had crossed the line so many times. And going into deep tradition, the tradition is supposed to protect, integrity. It's supposed to protect everything that is good. Okay. Now you cannot hide, behind an invoked ritual because you want to run away from consequences. Doing that or even conceiving that, is also seen as going against the tradition of the land. So the gods themselves may be angry with the whole process, and they said maybe, just maybe, this was what happened. But they said the supporter who had carried the pot, the one who was most vocal about defending Ebony no matter what, was struck with blindness on the road. It was so sudden that the others were terrified. This was not sickness that built up over time. It was an instant loss of sight, and nothing they tried could reverse it up until now. When this news reached the council, the room was filled with murmurs and shock. The elders understood immediately what it meant. Among the Yoruba, when the object of a covenant breaks on its own, it is a declaration from the unseen powers that the covenant has been broken, and when someone connected to it suffers instant consequences like blindness, it is seen as judgment. To the elders, this was the clearest evidence that Àṣẹ Olórí Àbẹ could no longer, like it wasn't going to even work from the very beginning. Now, do you know the reason why everybody around Ebony could be affected, but Ebony will never be touched? Is because she is connected to the Ooni of Ife. And it is that connection that they are fighting so seriously to keep, and KBS is fighting so seriously to remove. Welcome back to my channel. It's a girl, Delara. I bring you fresh and spicy gist from the sources still on the royals. How are you guys doing? I appreciate you guys so much. I love you and share. I do well, my people. If you're yet to subscribe, what the hell are you waiting for? Kindly go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and do not forget to turn on the notification bell, and do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. Now, this is what is going on. They said they only addressed them plainly. He reminded them that he had warned about this. He had told them that tradition cannot be twisted to protect someone who was unrepentant, someone who had turned against the value of the throne. He, explained that Ebony's action had already disqualified her from the protection of that decree, because Àṣẹ Olórí Àbẹ was never created to defend evil. It was created to shield wives who upheld dignity and respect. Now, with the breaking of the pot and the blindness of her supporter, there is nothing left to argue. The council members who had been divided before now sat in complete agreement. They admitted openly that the gods themselves had spoken. The covering, was never even going to work in the first place. The elders expressed their deep shock, not only at the event itself, but also at how far things had gone. They said that never in recent history had they seen a situation escalate to this level, where a wife of the throne and her family pushed tradition so far that the very covenant they relied on turned against them. They admitted that they had been hesitant before, but now there was no more doubt. Ebony's claim to immunity had ended. Now, you know one thing me I do not like about this their tradition. The fact that they can have the Ooni of Ife can have, these kinds of problems, like, this kind of deep disagreement with, the Oloris and all of that. And culture demands that they still go out together, they are seen together, they play together, they laugh in public and all of that. I don't understand that kind of tradition. And I also do not understand the kind of tradition that will say that no matter how bad the situation is, the king cannot divorce his wives because he's a father. When other people bring issues of divorce, how is he going to judge it and all of that? So he is bound to be with this, with whoever, whenever. Divorce is out of Onis do not divorce. Never. Whether you people are frowning, you're not eating each other's food, you're supposed to be in public. In public, you're supposed to be together. You're supposed to show yourself. You're supposed to do this, do that. It's the wives who gets to go, or the worst that Oni can do is to remove immunity. Because some of these situations that I'm seeing like this, I'm just like, now wow, the thing, it tough, it tough like this one. Now, a tradition that, as in, you invoke the tradition against your own Oba. And he refused. He said, look, I am not going that on that trajectory. You people were carrying the pot back. The pot go break for one hand. Person even come, they go blind. And the marriage is still supposed to stay. Even as we are speaking now, there are so many different functions that they are supposed to go together. That, if not that, Ooni of Ife is just reluctantly not wanting to go with them. They are itching to go. It does not affect anything that they are doing with Kabiyesi, and they have to do it. It's my legitimate right to do it, my traditional right to do it, to go out to flinch with my husband and all of that. Even when the heart is so sad. They said that pot broke in that man's hand, and the man immediately went partially blind. Before he would get home, the man was blind. One of his supporters that carried that Àṣẹ Olórí Àbẹ pot, Kabiyesi warned them, they did not hear. They said this is what is going on. I'm going to bring him update. Do not forget that these are all alleged, rumored, unverified information making the rounds on social media and should not be seen as fact.